Very warm welcome to this independent unofficial off-tube studio commentary of this big Premier League clash between West Ham United and Nottingham Forest. All the preparations complete at the London Stadium. It's going to be the home side who get us underway as Matheus Fernandes steps up to take the kick-off. And what a game this could be in both sides' season. A real six-pointer, a game that both sides dare not lose between West Ham and Forest. They both struggled massively in the Premier League this season. West Ham more so. They're still in that bottom three, looking to get as many points as possible. They start 4 points away from Nottingham Forest before kick-off this evening, and the game underway. The ball going up. It's quite a lot of empty seats at the London Stadium, as you might expect from the form that West Ham currently find themselves in. As Gibbs White charges forward, he finds Jesus now out on the left-hand side. He's going to go up against Mavropanos. Jesus trying to turn inside. He's up towards the edge of the area. Mavropanos finally sticks a foot in before Anderson now takes charge. Ball back across goal. Scales heads it up in the air. Back in by Ernest. Gibbs White now high in the air before Dominguez heads it down. Somerville will give chase, but this is a good start from the away team and might go into this one as slight favourites based on their league position. But West Ham United definitely need something to change the tide of this season, or they will be playing Championship football next year. It's myself, Joshua Maker. Alongside me is Jack Ogilby taking you through this one. And Jack, I mentioned about how massive a game this is for both sides. How do we see it going?
It's a huge game, isn't it, for both teams. Just seeing Amari Hutchinson go down the right-hand side. First real attack, he gets inside, Scales loses his footing, Somerville chips it away and does quite well with him. Paquetá doesn't, Murillo does. It's huge this for West Ham, only 2 wins at home all season, losing to rock bottom Wolves, and in pretty convincing fashion, you have to say, 3-0 at the weekend. They lost this fixture 2-1 last season, but they did beat Forest 3-0 at the City Ground earlier in the campaign. There's already rumours that Nuno might not last until the weekend's cup game if they lose tonight. Those kind of rumours leaking out are not good, are they? It's they've got the new striker Tati Castellanos in the side this evening. Another new striker on the bench. But they have to win, I think. That's probably long and short, they have to win. Yeah, they certainly do. And there's the first few touches there for Tati Castellanos. He's found well by Somerville, who drove up the pitch. Castellanos cutting onto his right foot like it was going to maybe be the perfect debut. Then for a moment, it just slipped in behind the two defenders. Murillo wasn't tracking him. And West Ham have got the first corner of the game. Yeah, £25 million they spent on him. 2 goals in 12 appearances for Lazio in all competitions so far this season. The Argentinian, who's quite a streaky striker, but that might not be such a bad thing for West Ham, because if he can get 5, 6, 7 goals between now and the end of the season, that might prove very handy. Yep, certainly could. They're looking for one now as Somerville with the in-swing. It's headed out easily in the end by Jesus. He'll give chase, but Scales gets there ahead of him. Just lets it go out for a throw-in after a good first few moments for Nottingham Forest. It's West Ham who now find themselves on the attack. Scales will take this throw-in. He'll find Paquetá, who comes short for it. Scales eventually forced all the way back though, and Fernandes will pick it up well inside his own half. That leads me on nicely though, just to run you through the team news for this game. West Ham have made 4 changes from that disastrous 3-0 loss away at Wolves. Kilman's replaced by Todibo in defence. Potts and Magassa out of midfield for Soucek and Paquetá. And then Callum Wilson, who seems to be on his way out of West Ham, talks that he maybe terminating his contract early with the club. He's obviously been replaced, as we've already mentioned, by Tati Castellanos. So West Ham's full lineup is as follows. It's Areola in goal, back four is Walker Peters, Todibo, Mavropanos and Scales, Soucek and Fernandes in the midfield with Bowen, Paquetá, Somerville all in behind Castellanos. For Forest, just 2 changes from their 3-1 loss to Aston Villa. John Victor picked up an injury in goal in that game, so Matt Sells returns to the starting lineup, and then Callum Hudson-Odoi is preferred to Dian Bakwa in attack. So their full lineup: Sells in goal, back four is A&M Milenkovic, Murillo and Williams, Dominguez and Anderson in the midfield, Hutchinson, Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi all in behind Jesus, who is the starting striker for the Reds. West Ham on the attack. Walker Peters tries to cut the ball across for Jarrod Bowen. It's a little bit short. In the end, and Forest will get possession. They're well inside their own defensive third. There was Walker Peters with some good pressing in the end. It's it out for a throw-in. West Ham
fans, they've not had a lot to cheer about this season, of course, but they want to see moments like that early doors.
Yeah, they'll want to see moments like you say. They need to get the crowd behind them at the London Stadium. Of course, plenty's been made about the atmosphere, or maybe not quite the atmosphere, and whether it's a natural home for football and all those kind of things. Just having a look, a scan round the stands, it's capacity 60,000. I'd be surprised if there's 35 there tonight. It looks very, very empty from the shots we're seeing. Of course, people might be making their way to the seats right now, but it's all about, they need to get the fans on the side. It's amazing how quiet it is sometimes at London Stadium, but it gets very, very loud when things aren't going well.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's maybe a lot of toxicity around the club at the moment. A bit has been made about that. The teams above them, maybe just a bit more sort of united with the fans off the pitch as well as the team on the field. But there's a lot of resentment towards that West Ham board as it stands, not just for how the season's gone, but how the club's been run in recent years, really. I think most of the anger will be directed at the move from the Berlin ground that happened. They've been there a while now. They're looking to get on the ball again now, which they do. 5 minutes gone at London Stadium. It's still goalless between West Ham and Forest as the forward pass looking for Somerville doesn't quite reach him. Aina sticks a foot in. It's out for a throw, which Scales takes. He finds Castellanos, who lets it run nicely. Somerville now up towards the edge of the area. Somerville goes for goal. It's a shot on target, albeit not a hard one in the end for Matt Sells to save. But an opening there for West Ham.
Yeah, nice bit of it interplay. The new man just glanced it on to Somerville. Popped up nicely in front of him. Shot for goal, but as you say, straight to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely a save that Matt Sells will expect to make every day of the week. Castellanos letting it run nicely though. Milinkovic just got sucked in for Nottingham Forest and left themselves a little bit exposed in behind. But West Ham starting to purr a little bit better in this game. All the way back towards Tadibo again, who's the furthest man back. Finds Fernandez just ahead of him. Scales is in space on the left side. He's asking for it as well. Fernandez tries to find him, but his pass is intercepted by Hutchinson. Great speed to get away from Fernandez as well. Just can't keep it in the end. It's out for a throw and about halfway inside West Ham's half. They're still goalless in this one. Both sides have had some decent early attacks, but it's West Ham who've had the biggest chance of the game so far. Crescencio Somerville still looking to really prove himself in a West Ham shirt after making the move from Leeds United last season. £25 million signing. He's been in and out of the team at times, but he's finding himself starting at the moment as West Ham play themselves into a little bit of trouble. Nottingham Forest have got themselves a throw in. It's just in line with the 18-yard box. Maybe some nerves creeping in out the London Stadium. Can Forest make the most of this set piece? As the cameras focus on Edu, Nottingham Forest sporting director. It's been reported he's under quite a bit of pressure at the moment in Nottinghamshire. The way that results have gone this season as Aina takes a long throw and it's high and looping up towards the edge of the box. Bowen gets up really well. He finds Castellanos and now Somerville holding it up. Fernandez and now Paqueta, who's playing in the 10 this evening, where he should be, as the fans will have made that point. Castellanos can't keep that pass in, and it will be another Forest throw in. This one a lot further back. Now here's Murillo, and after 7.5 minutes gone, Forest looked like they were going to be the more danger of the two sides, but West Ham have started settling a little bit better.
Yes, they had that shot.
কুয়াশায় চাল চুইয়ে পানি আর কত হয়রানি
আছে সমাধান বসত ঘরে লাগাও আনোয়ার শীট সারা ঘর থাকে শুকনা সর্দি কাশিও থাকে দূরে
আনোয়ার সিমেন্ট শীট সব সিজনে ফিট
For defeats in a row, yet they're popping the ball around quite nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly has. Murillo finds Hudson-Odoi, one of the two changes for Forest for this evening. Nowhere through, so he goes back towards Murillo. Now Hudson-Odoi again. Anderson in space now, up towards the edge of the box. Anderson goes for the cross. It's headed up in the air though by Mavropanos. Anderson then gets the touch before Souček tries to get it clear. Once again, though, it's Forest who pick the ball up. Hudson-Odoi up against Souček, tries the ball through the middle. It finds Gibbs White. Now back with Nico Williams. Hudson-Odoi again on the left side. West Ham have players back, but Hudson-Odoi goes down the outside again. He's still looking for the next pass before he finds Murillo's a bit further back. He'll think about the cross before then finding Hudson-Odoi once more. Now Nico Williams, who has space to get the cross in from deep. It comes in, headed again by Mavropanos. Jesus picks it up, turns Scales nicely as well, over towards the right side, tries to dig out across. A good block and Somerville can perhaps get away now for the hands. In fact, he can't, he loses it straight away. Dominguez picks up, tries to thread it through for Jesus, under pressure from Scales, and Tadibo eventually wins the ball. It's out for a throw and getting a little bit scrappy though there for West Ham, just couldn't get it clear.
Yes, and well, that has often been the case this season, hasn't it? And, well, in this fixture last season, when they conceded to Morgan Gibbs-White after 10 minutes, it was Alphonse Areola basically passing to the Nottingham Forest playmaker on the edge of the 18-yard box. Forest perhaps started to set up ball into the box. Souček in the side, he gets it away. Murillo's picks the ball about 30 yards from West Ham's box, and Hudson-Odoi can attack.
Yeah, he certainly can. Dashes in now. Nico Williams on the edge of the box will go for the strike as well. What a save that is from Areola. Another player who's maybe come under pressure this season at West Ham, but what a save that was. Nico Williams with the curling effort. Just seeing from the replay as well, a fingertip save from Areola, because that's going in the top corner.
Yeah, it's a good save, isn't it? It's one of the ones that top players dream of. He just opens up for Nico Williams, a right footer on the left, cutting inside. Good goalkeeping by Areola, springing to his left and clawing it away. Yeah,
fantastic stop from the Frenchman there. It has led to this corner though now for Forest. It will be the in-swinger taken by Amari Hutchinson. And it comes now as well. Difficult one to defend. Areola comes out, gets the punch. It's out to Williams again. He'll go for the strike this time. Doesn't get it on target. It's on his right foot again, but the angle slightly against him as he's closed down. Can't find the target, and West Ham survive.
Yeah, he clearly fancied it this evening, and Nico Williams again. It came to him quite nicely. Mentioned we know he's a right footer playing on the left-hand side. He kind of had to get himself round the ball there. Couldn't quite do it. He's got one goal so far this season. Probably come closest to getting a second of all the players so far. We're seeing it again. Reverse angle on this occasion. That earlier shot. Areola doing really well to his left. Yeah,
fantastic stuff from Areola. As you mentioned, just the one goal this season for Nico Williams. That came against Burnley at Turf Moor back in the middle of September. And he's come the closest so far by a mile to opening the scoring at the London Stadium. 11 minutes gone though, and it's still goalless between these two sides. As West Ham have themselves a throw-in as they look to respond to that bit of pressure from Nottingham Forest. Throwing forward from Walker-Peters, eventually won by Dominguez. Souček then gets the next one before Bowen tries to flick it behind him. Anderson picks it up nicely before Williams goes for the first time ball over the top, looking for the run of Jesus. It's all the way through though in the end to Areola. This of course being the only game taking place this evening in the Premier League. There was also one other game taking place on our service. Rangers fresh from that 3-1 victory in the Old Firm. They're hosting Aberdeen. They're 1-0 up as well in that game. Fernandes has taken the lead. And that's the only other game to bring you news of this evening. It goes through to Areola, goes for the short through ball to Fernandes, now to Debo. Again, another one of the changes made for this West Ham team. A lot been made about Max Kilman and sort of the mistakes that he's made this season, and he's finally withdrawn from the team.
Yeah, he's struggled with form and confidence, hasn't he, Kilman? And he's maybe been a bit of a fall guy at times as well. He's been the mainstay, whether they've played 3 at the back, 4 at the back, he's always seemed to be in it, and at times I think he's been so worried about what's going on around him, he's not been able to concentrate on his own game, and in recent times he's just looked a bit passive, you have to say. Ollie Skiles wasn't passive there. Looks like he's played it against Amari Hutchinson, West Ham's first corner kick of the game. We're going to see it again. I think that's a good call by the official. It looks like it comes off Hutchinson's right foot and out for a corner kick.
Yep, it certainly is. That's to appeal for it there. Ollie Skiles, another player who came in for pressure. A lot of that coming from the mistake against Fulham, which led to the winning goal for Raul Jimenez in that game. But it will now come in from Crescencio Somerville towards the near post. It's flicked on and it's in. It looks like it's an own goal. I think Murillo maybe got the final touch. Cameras focusing on him. But after a good start from Forest, where they nearly took the lead just a few moments ago, it's West Ham who strike first in this 6-pointer.
Yeah, ball into the near post. Run came from Thomas Souček. Lucas Paquetá was in there as well. It does look like Murillo got the final touch. The camera zooming in on the Brazil centre half. No complaints from Forest of blocking or anything like that. Just looks like an old-fashioned own goal, doesn't it? We're going to see it again. Somerville towards the near post. Oh, he nods it home, doesn't he? It's a bit of a shocker for the Brazilian. Nothing Matt Sells can do. He's only a yard or so out. When he makes the contact at Murillo, Sells spreads himself and looks up quite puzzled. Doesn't know what's happened. Puts the pieces of the picture and the jigsaw together as he sees it's Murillo in front of him. And he's put West Ham in front.
Yep, he certainly has. As you say, nothing that Sells can do about it. He's going for the ball, and I think he just gets in the way there in the end. Murillo cannons it past his own player. One of those Nottingham Forest players who maybe needs to find themselves this season. Was absolutely sensational last year, but hasn't been the same player really, and that own goal just about sums it up for him so far. It was Souček who got the header on at the near post, and that's what he's in the side to do as well. That height gives you such an advantage from set pieces.
It does, doesn't it? It just gives him something else. I'm not quite sure he's got that explosivity going forward as he used to, Thomas Souček, so he's a bit deeper in midfield, but from set pieces he's just got a real knack for knowing where the ball's going to be, and because he's got that height he can attack it. That's a terrible free kick from Nottingham Forest by Murillo. Kind of whipped it across field wide to Amari Hutchinson, but the ball was too strong. Well, maybe Hutchinson could have helped him out. He let the ball bounce and it bounced out of play.
Yep, certainly did. Not a great few moments then, is it really, for Murillo? He's just scored an own goal to give the opposition the lead, and then he puts a poor free kick out of play, and West Ham have got themselves a free kick now after Paquetá goes down halfway inside the West Ham half. Sean Dyche belling out instructions. Mentioned about the pressure on Nuno Espirito Santo, but Sean Dyche is definitely under some himself at Nottingham Forest. It's been a real crazy season for them so far. Of course, Nuno Espirito Santo, one of 3 managers for Forest this season. Of course, with Ange Postecoglou making way, which seems a lifetime ago at this point, doesn't it, really?
Oh yeah, well, there's talk of maybe Postecoglou a potential replacement again for Nuno should things not work out at West Ham. The crazy world of Premier League management. It's amazing that West Ham's manager is the only manager who's lost a home game to them this season.
It certainly is. He was back the manager for that 3-0 loss back at the start of the season. It looked like West Ham were finally clicking into gear. It's not quite worked out that ever since, but they are clicking into gear so far this evening. 16 minutes gone at the London Stadium. It's still 1-0 to the home side after that own goal from Murillo. And Nottingham Forest now going in search of that equalising goal as Anderson picks it up just by the halfway line. Murillo will now drive over it. Goes for the forward pass to Igor Jesus. First time ball back to Murillo. Now Jesus, well, it looked like he had a chance to turn. Instead he went for the backwards pass. Murillo frustrated by that one as well. Dominguez under pressure from Paquetá can find Milinkovic, and now Aina out on the right under pressure from Somerville, who's just got a bit too much of the man there in the end. And it will be a free kick.
দাঁড়াও জানি তো হেঁটেই যাবে বাজার করে আসার সময় ভারী ব্যাগ নিয়ে হেঁটে এসো না রিকশায় এসো নিজের ব্যাপারে গরজ সামান্যই কিন্তু আমাদের ব্যাপারে অসম্ভব সচেতন
এইবার এইটা না কিছুটা কমে পাইলে নিতে হবে না আমাকে একটা রাঁধুনিই দেন নেন
হাঁটা স্বাস্থ্যের জন্য ভালো এটাই তো বলবে
পরিবারের জন্য সব সময় সেরাটাই বেছে নেবেন আপনি তাই আমরাও নিশ্চিত করি সেরা তেলের সর্বোচ্চ বিশুদ্ধতা সেরার জন্য নিশ্চিন্তে আস্থা রাখুন রাঁধুনিতে
You know what they say. Play it safe, know your place, follow the rules. They say great minds think alike. We say the greatest ones don't. Flinders University.
It goes for the pass back towards Hutchinson or Dominguez, and West Ham have intercepted, and they're on the counter-attack as well. It's a potential 3-on-3 if they can play this right. Somerville still going, eventually gets closed down by the Nottingham Forest defender and sandwiched in the end. It's a good tackle though, and Not Forest will now come forward instead.
Yeah, it should have been. He should have used a man to his right there, shouldn't he? A bit of a tunnel vision, but in his defence, it's one of the vagaries, isn't it, of the advantage rule where Castellanos would have been the man he would pass into, but he'd been taken out in back play by O'Reilly, and we see Tony Harrington tell him not to do that again. But if you're telling him, is it not a yellow card? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, I don't know.
Definitely could be for that one.
But he's not doing it by accident, has he? That's what I mean.
Yeah, Walker Peters now with the ball down the right channel. It's a good one as well. It finds Bowen on the edge of the box. Ball comes in looking for Castellanos, headed away. Only as far though as Souček. He finds Walker Peters. Now Bowen again on that left foot, not closed down. Good ball in as well, looking for Castellanos. It bounces up into the air. Walker Peters brings it down. Souček with the half volley out towards Bowen. He gets in a little bit of a mix up with Walker Peters, but West Ham still somehow retain possession. Walker Peters now down the right. Good ball across goal. No one attacking it. And Forest eventually clear it through Milinkovic. Anderson will now find Hudson-Odoi, who's going to bring it away down the left. End-to-end stuff though at the moment. Here's Gibbs-White now, just past the halfway line, up against Mavropanos. Still going. Gibbs-White starts to check inside before going the other way. Finds Hudson-Odoi up towards the edge of the box now. Under pressure from Mavropanos. West Ham have just about got players back as Dominguez now takes charge. He'll go for the cross from deep. Looks for Igor Jesus. Probably wants Hutchinson a bit deeper in that position. Forest have still got the ball now with Aina in the final third. Over to Gibbs-White. He's been pretty quiet so far in this game. Edge of the box. Finds Hutchinson on his left foot. Digs the cross out. Headed away again though by Mavropanos, who's had a good start so far to this game. And Forest coming forward again. It will be Hudson-Odoi. Cross is deflected. Can Hutchinson bring it down? He can't. It's all the way through, and Scarles will get the clearance. Maria will pick it up, but a decent opportunity for both sides there.
Yes, you mentioned Morgan Gibbs-White's been quite quiet, hasn't he? I was thinking exactly the same. He's got a good goal against Aston Villa at the weekend, but didn't quite impact the game enough. Interesting how the midfield set up. We see Anderson keeps getting the ball with a play in front of him, and he's trying to direct traffic, but no one seems to be in the right positions. We see Olaina down the right hand side, throwing as Somerville blocks. I think they miss Ibrahim Sangare in the middle of the park. Someone who carries the ball really well, just gets them 10 yards further up the field. Where both Dominguez and Ali Anderson, the good buzzing around players out. They pop around and they get the ball and give and goes and things like that, but neither of them are going to take opposition players out the game.
No, certainly not. Two players that maybe have the same styles as you allude to, Jack. It will now be Aina though to take this long throw in, high and up into the air again, headed away though by Mavropanos, who's underneath everything it seems at the moment for West Ham. Castellanos tries to play it on, but Forest take control again. We're past the 20-minute mark at the London Stadium, and West Ham so far a goal to the good in this one against Forest. That Mario own goal, the difference between the two sides, as Sells now comes far off his line to support this slow Forest attack. Anderson takes charge, nice ball towards Hutchinson on the right, goes the inside of Somerville. He's looking for the pass into the centre. He's not going to get it just yet, as it's Milinkovic now over towards Murillo. He'll go for the direct diagonal ball. It's a good one as well. Aina brings it down nicely, under pressure now from Scarles, finds Hutchinson ahead of him. Now back to Aina. Anderson in space to his left, but Aina tries to go for the sort of fancy pass in the end to Hutchinson. It doesn't work out. West Ham haven't got hold of the ball yet. That's a nice touch from Dominguez to take himself inside. Forest now attacking again. Murillo gets there at Bowen. Hudson-Odoi on the edge of the box will go for the left-footed strike. I think that must have taken a deflection in the end, or has that just gone out for a goal kick? Hudson-Odoi getting back to his feet. I don't think it took a deflection in the end. It might have just been a really bad strike.
Yeah, nice turn initially, but it almost just got away from him, so he was stretching for the ball and leaning back, the former Chelsea man, and cut across it. See Sean Dyche check his watch. I think he'd be frustrated by the way his side, of course, they've conceded that own goal, but I would say they've probably been the better team. They've had the majority of the possession, but the ball's horseshoeing round a bit. There's no one, it's just not clicking, it's not really sticking with Igor Jesus, and it means that they are taking pot shots from distance basically.
Yeah, they certainly are. I've seen it there with Hudson-Odoi. It's on his weaker foot as well. It's always going to be tough from that position. He was always rising and ended up in the stands. Ball now back with Matt Sells, the goalkeeper. Goes direct this time. Jesus, well, he thinks he won the ball fairly there after shrugging off the challenge from Ollie Scarles, but referee Harrington disagreeing, and West Ham will get themselves a free kick as we just see replays of the own goal once more. Definitely will be going down as an own goal. I don't know if that's going in from Souček. Might go towards the dubious goals panel after the game, but for now it has been given as an own goal by the Nottingham Forest centre half. And with that, we are a quarter of the way through this game at the London Stadium. It was fairly even at the start, but West Ham taking charge with that own goal from Murillo. It's 1-0 to the Irons, and it will be Jack to take you through to half time.
Yeah, thanks Josh. Gibbs-White might have a bit of space though, he can't quite reach it, but Nico Williams can. He's got Callum Hudson-Odoi right on the left hand side. The one cap England winger cuts inside, teases the ball in. Mavropanos just about gets it away, back it down the edge of the box. Takes too long, then Anderson gets a real boot from Kyle Walker-Peters, but the advantage is there because Nico Williams has it. Low ball into Debo, stoops, half heads it away. I got Jesus' cross fizzes away. Another in and out. Too strong for Somerville. And we'll give it back to Jesus, who looks up, realises he's the centre forward, and so there's no one in the box. Tries to cross it because Hutchinson was making a late dart. Doesn't work out. Mavropanos will blast it long. Looking left to right for Jared Bowen, who, similar to Morgan Gibbs-White, actually has been quite quiet so far in this game. Nico Williams isn't happy with his defensive colleagues there. I think he felt he was exposed. I mentioned Lucas Paquetá is the nominal number 10, I guess, but he's playing quite deep, isn't he? And Souček maybe trying to get those late runs, the trademark from the Czech. But I think maybe Forest are struggling to figure out who to pick up, because Castellanos isn't really playing like a target man either. He's drifting around a bit, so Mario Milenkovic struggling to occupy themselves as Todibo has it. Back to Matches Fernandez, excellent in that August 3-0 win. Mavropanos almost overruns it. Dominguez's eyes lit up, but just about gets the way the Greek centre half. Paquetá will go back to Todibo. Frenchman with his socks rolled down, gives it to Ollie Scales, who was perhaps at fault for Raul Jimenez's win at London Stadium a couple of weeks ago, but I think others who watched it also picked out that neither the centre halves were marking the 6'3" Mexican centre forward at the time, so maybe Scales could have been helped out by his colleagues as Walker Peters extended running the team. Wan-Bissaka away at AFCON. Decent ball down the right hand side for Bowen to chase. He's outnumbered by the Nottingham Forest defence.
বসুন্ধরা টিস্যু শুদ্ধতার সাথে আপনাদের পাশে আছে বছরের পর বছর। আপনাদের ভালোবাসায় টানা তৃতীয়বার অর্জন করেছে দেশের সেরা সুপার ব্র্যান্ড স্বীকৃতি। বসুন্ধরা টিস্যুর পাশে থাকার জন্য আপনাদের ধন্যবাদ।
Can't do anything about it as Bowen gets himself in the way of him and the ball, lets it out for a corner. Smart play there from the West Ham captain. And West Ham, we've already seen in this game, looking a threat from set pieces. Can they double their lead from another one?
Yeah, I think we're looking towards the near post again. That's where it goes. Mavropanos there, sells as well to Palm in a way. Fernandez with a bouncing shot. Scales, who took the corner kick, gives it back now to Paquetá, who's got 6 bodies to aim for. It's a deep cross and his catching practice really good by Matt Sells. You mentioned he's back in the side this evening. John Victor injured. Angus Gunn, third choice goalkeeper. Interestingly, third choice goalkeeper Fraser Forster just signed for Bournemouth, hasn't he, on a temporary spell as Callum Hudson-Odoi goes down the left hand side back to Morgan Gibbs-White. We just opened up for him nicely there. I thought he was going to have a go at goal. So he goes forward to Jesus. Now Anderson is telling Dominguez to put some pace on the ball. Ball goes in. Jesus heads it down. Didn't have much to work with there. It was hammered away by Mavropanos. Castellanos will give chase. Hammered away by Matt Sells. Had a good starting position to Debo. He just slips just about 2 pokes away from Scales. Waited and waited and waited. At the expense of just a throw-in at the end, like Walker Peters, extended running the side for Scales. So if Diouf at AFCON with Senegal, was that a foul? No, it wasn't. Somerville, good play by him. He finds Castellanos, Paquetá to his right hand side. Castellanos just too firm as he tries to play Somerville in. Milenkovic did well to get back and will not clear it because Bowen has stopped him going for a throw. West Ham got good territory here. Paquetá, Walker Peters, Matches Fernandez just inside the Forest half. West Ham in the cloud blue shirts going right to left as we look at it. White shirts this evening for Forest, blue shorts and socks, white shorts and socks for West Ham. Souček wide on the right hand side, ball into the box. Somerville misses it. Castellanos misses his kick. I think he came off his shin, pretty much square and to safety. But tails up now for the Hammers. If you are joining us, they lead 1-0 and just play with. It's amazing what a goal can do, give them playing a bit more confidence.
Yeah, they certainly are. It's probably the best West Ham have played in quite some time this season. A few moments there for Castellanos. Firstly, getting too much on the pass, as you say. Nice idea as he sees Somerville making the run behind him, and then with that ball into the box there, I'm not sure if he's just not expecting it or if he's trying something else, but there was the chance to get the strike away. It doesn't quite work out in the end. But the signs are good at the moment for West Ham. Nottingham Forest responded well, didn't they, after the opening goal? They put them under some extended pressure, nothing really coming from it. And West Ham now in a comfortable moment in this match. But we've seen them this season plenty of times, going into the lead. That game against Brighton springs to mind quite recently. Going into the lead and not being able to hold out. Can they do it this time?
Switch of play, Souček looking for Somerville. Elorena has the situation under control. We'll go forward now. The Forest at right back. Jesus is making a run for him. And a lovely ball into Jesus. Touches it away. And then gives it back to Aina. I thought it was going to be a poor ball, but he's got good pace, isn't he? Aina. Really underrated player. Plays off both feet. Just all looks so easy for him. He's such a natural footballer. Doesn't work out this time for Forest. We see Tony Harrington just having a word with I think he's actually Elorena, who's no stranger to a yellow card. And it's the maybe kicking the ball away or not allowing it to return to where the ref thought it should. But Jared Bowen against Nico Williams, that's turned into a battle. The focus is on Morgan Gibbs-White at the moment. We're seeing the average positions of Nottingham Forest players, and Gibbs-White only just inside the West Ham half. He's not been able to get into the game. Scouse hoofs it long. Headed up by Elliot Anderson. Murray Hutchinson tries to help it on. I think Anderson's, if he stays fit, is almost certain to feature for England, maybe from the start at the World Cup. Morgan Gibbs-White's one of those players who's on the fringes of things. If he's got maybe half a foot in, Jared Bowen's probably got a foot and a leg in, hasn't he? He's not guaranteed a spot, but Gibbs-White maybe. Well, I don't think it's unfair to say that his form often reflects Forest, and he's just out of form at the moment. He scored at the weekend, a good goal as well, but he's not had the same involvement in matches, and maybe that's why Forest form's suffering. Yeah, he's definitely the talisman. He's the captain of the club as well, isn't he? Which obviously plays a big impact on the rest of the team. You think with that England squad as well. I think the main issue that Morgan Gibbs-White finds himself in is that there's a lot of good players in that role. There's Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers has been playing brilliant recently as well, and seems to be liked by Thomas Tuchel. Whereas for Elliot Anderson, he's in a position where England are a little bit short on players at the moment. There's him and Adam Wharton, who seem like they're going to be the most likely to pair Declan Rice in the summer. But yeah, those two players for Nottingham Forest, one's maybe their talisman, maybe the reason as well why they're struggling so much. Yeah, well, you think Morgan Rogers, I think what he gives you is, again, that ability to carry the ball, and he's happy to run by Harry Kane, whereas I think Gibbs-White's almost the most similar to Jude Bellingham they're going to find, in terms of he likes to find those bits of space and kind of playing not the game at his own pace, but letting the game come to him at times, whereas Rogers is more dominant. He wants to run forward, whereas Gibbs-White wants to find that space and get involved where he wants to do it, and it's just not working for him at the moment. Tati Castellanos on debut for West Ham this evening. A decent impact so far. The Hammers 1-0 up as Jesus high foot into the chest of Matheus Fernandes. We see the other new West Ham striker, Pablo, in from Gil Vicente. 10 goals in 13 appearances so far this season. £20 million. They could have maybe gone and won it, and he brought Callum Wilson off around the 70-minute mark, and it got quite a bad reaction from the crowd. West Ham thinking they should be playing a striker. They've now got a focal point. There's no excuse to not play a striker anymore after they've just spent so much money on two of them. It maybe just has the signs of a bit of a panic buy with the fees that they've paid for both these players. Don't have the greatest goal records, and especially in the Premier League where they're so unproven as well. But it might work the other way. They're unproven entities at this level. Other teams don't know too much about them. That might be a problem for Forest this evening, coming up against a player they've never come up against before. They won't have as much data on them as well as other Premier League strikers, so maybe a little bit harder to deal with. Yes, and I think the situation West Ham are in 4 points from safety at the start of this game. Only won 3 times all season. As things stand, they're a point behind Nottingham Forest, who are 17th. West Ham's 18th. If things would stay as they are, but yeah, the way the position West Ham are in at the moment, nothing matters apart from the next 7. I'm going to say it, are too good to go down. However, when you look at the table, there are a few teams who look a bit too good to
প্রেগন্যান্সিতে নিউজটা নেগেটিভ বা পজিটিভ হওয়ার চেয়ে অ্যাকুরেট হওয়াটা জরুরি। আর তাই আমার ভরসা সেটাই যেটা লাখো নারীর ভরসা। গেট শিওর প্রেগন্যান্সি টেস্ট কিট, মাত্র 3 মিনিটেই অ্যাকুরেট রেজাল্ট। তাই প্রেগন্যান্সিতে বি শিওর উইথ গেট শিওর ফ্রম গেট ওয়েল।
service. This is an interesting round of fixtures because I saw actually from the Championship, Sheffield United, Chris Wilder, FA Cup this weekend. After the game on New Year's Day when they played Leicester, it was asked, are you going to do any business? He said, you'll find out by Charlton on Saturday the 17th, almost discounting the game in the FA Cup. Their fixture against Oxford was called off, but I think there is a bit of that going on. It's been a busy few weeks, of course, and it's almost a 10-day break with the FA Cup. You imagine a lot of fringe players will be getting run-outs in the Cup, and a few players might be heading off on holiday. You feel that who've played a lot of minutes, and a few more players. This is the meat of the transfer window. They've got 10 days, these clubs, to get a few in and get a few out.
Yeah, they do. It's a really busy time. They've just come off, possibly the most hectic schedule in the football season, with the winter and the Christmas games and how many fixtures there is. A few of those sides down the bottom as well, looking a little bit tired. They'll use that FA Cup game as an excuse just to put as many fringe players on, as you say, rest all the main ones. Obviously, these midweek fixtures crucial, as well as Forest Tatana with Hutchinson just gets too much in the end of Tadibo. Dominguez now trying to bring it forward as Tadibo sends it out for a throw-in. But yeah, crucial times in this season. Leeds unbeaten, as you're saying, 6 or 7 games now, looking really good. Maybe fancy that one to end though, as they play Newcastle tomorrow.
Yes, Newcastle won the last 2 games, haven't they? Aina into Anis, it's a nice 1-2. Aina, first time balling's not the best. Matches Fernandes, doesn't clear his line, gets it to Somerville, who's down by the corner flag. He does enough there. There's Crescencio, Somerville, Tati Castellanos. Probably a foul he's given away hundreds of times in his career. The oldest trick in the book. Milinkovic wasn't going anywhere, stood his ground, waited for the contact. Nico Dominguez stands over the ball for Forest. Free kick, about 40 yards out wide on the right hand side. He wanted to take it early, I think, but Mario was actually going to come over across them, pass it short to Amari Hutchinson. He cuts back inside, left-footed ball towards the back post, and Jesus, it bounces in front of Kyle Walker-Peters. Hacked away by Bowen. Nico Williams now starting to look a bit wet at the London Stadium, as Hudson-Odoi tries to get past Kyle Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters does well. 37.5 gone. Still the Hammers leading through Mario's early own goal. Nico Williams into Gibbs White. Little Cruyff turn, but Tadibo's in the way. Shins the ball out for another throw though to Forest. Anderson receives from Nico Williams. Paquetá plays it against Williams. He's going to pretend he didn't and react angrily, but I think it was the right call by Tony Harrington. And that's just a chance now for West Ham to settle things down. The camera focuses on Igor Jesus. We spoke pre-match about Chris Wood's potentially season-ending knee injury. That, again, a bit like Gibbs White's fall off in form. Wood's injury, it's all come at once for Forest, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And even you look at the players that were so great for them last season. I mentioned Matt Mario and how he looks a bit of a different player this season. All those players that were brilliant just seem to have been coming into really bad form, as the players they've brought in as well to sort of bolster the squad ahead with the European football. They've not really done enough. We've seen the strikers there and their goal records. Igor Jesus has only got 1 this season. Chris Wood's got 2. Callum Miranda hasn't scored. Tyro Onye hasn't scored as well. And that just sort of summed it up for Forest. They're really lacking that firepower in attack. Great players all behind them who aren't in great form, albeit they've just not got the threat up front like they had last season. Set pieces are maybe drying up a little bit as well. So all those great things that made them such a force to be reckoned with last season have gone. Nuno has of course left as well, and he had the time to just build what he wanted at Nottingham Forest. That might come with West Ham in this January window, or maybe even a summer one if they do somehow stay up and then keep him on as well. He might be able to then build the squad that he wants, and West Ham might have a bit of further success.
Yeah, Caliamendo very heavily linked with a move to Eintracht Frankfurt. They're still looking for an Ekitike, a proper forward replacement for Ekitike. Really, expect to be a lot of business at that German club, and I think a few probably youngsters might be heading there from what you read. But he's on the bench. You mentioned Awoniyi, who just can't get fit, can he? Unfortunately, just can't get a run of games. So Awoniyi, injuries haven't been kind for Forest. It's West Ham now on the attack. Fernandes takes off the toes of Bowen. Fernandes looks to try and feed it wide to Castellanos, who drifted wide. Williams' attempt to clearance isn't the best. Souček intercepts and almost finds Bowen on the right edge of the box. He's unmarked there as well. Just looking at the other injuries for Forest, Ryan Yates and Dan Ondoyo had a really good start to the season. The Swiss, as Scouse slides in. Murray Hutchinson was almost waiting for the ball there. Scouse that runs onto it. Is it inside to Somerville? The ball overrun by him, but Paquetá will pick out a pass to Bowen. He's got Kyle Walker-Peters on the overlap. Bowen, the West Ham captain, gets the edge of the area, right-footed low ball in, and Murillo did really well. Interesting, the Forest defenders were doubling up on Castellanos there. It was almost like Murillo was marking him and Milenkovic was the sweeper. This is better by West Ham. Bowen has it 30 yards out, right of the field. 1-2 with Souček. Bowen's still going, one shot on his left foot. Can he get the shot away? Good defending by Murillo. Hutchinson on the edge of his area, needs to be careful. He is. He finds Dominguez, he finds Ainu, he finds Igor Jesus. He's going to look to run Todibo. Todibo stands up, wins the ball. Jesus does well actually under pressure from Matches, Fernandes and Scouse. Aina will work it back to Anderson. Maybe he's the player that Forest needs to start putting a bit of tempo into the game. Nico Williams gives it to Hudson-Odoi. Gets inside the box. Can he get the shot away? Oh, off the crossbar. He seemed destined for the top corner. Areola did well for Nico Williams' shot earlier. He was clutching Callum Hudson-Odoi's there. We're seeing it. Oh, it's just in front of the Nottingham Forest fans who are behind the angle of the goal. So unlucky for Forest.
Yeah, Areola's getting absolutely nowhere near that one. It's brilliant from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Exactly the position you want to see him in. How many times have we seen him cutting on his right foot on the edge of the box and just bend one into that far corner? He's inches away from doing the same again here. It's patient build-up from Nottingham Forest. Closest they've gone in quite some time in this game. Just gets the wrong side of the defender in the end, gets the space for the shot. And luckily for West Ham, it cannons off the crossbar, but a warning for the home team.
Yeah, well, you can see in the build there, Elliot Anderson was screaming Nico Williams to get the ball to Hudson-Odoi, because he does have that magic, doesn't he? Callum Hudson-Odoi. Unlucky on this occasion. It remains 1-0 to West Ham. Nottingham Forest coming forward. Murillo to his compatriot Igor Jesus. Runs right to left and picks it up under pressure from Todibo. He just goes down. Todibo too strong. Forward, it doesn't reach Paquetá of Brazilian. Murillo steps onto the ball. Anderson tells Nico Dominguez to turn. Now Hudson-Odoi. Everyone's turning in at the moment for Forest. Maybe it's just the way they're set up with a right foot on the left and a left footer on the right. Nico Williams into Gibbs White, who plays it straight to Fernandes. It's a really poor ball. So is that by Souček. His pass out to Nico Dominguez. Now Nico Williams, Murillo, Gibbs White. Hudson-Odoi gets down the line, didn't fancy the cross on his left foot, cuts it back to Dominguez. Haynes.
Most internet number resources trace back to a handful of central databases. These registries declare who owns what, and the entire global routing system trusts them. But what happens when a dispute arises, or when records are outdated, or when policies change? Routing chaos. This dependence on single points of truth raises a deeper question. Should an internet built on decentralization rely on central authorities? And if not, what alternatives exist for a more secure, transparent, and resilient future? Join NRS. Be empowered to understand and shape the foundations of the internet.
And Areola, and he'll just launch it forward towards Castellanos. In fact, it's closer to Bowen. Battles with Nico Williams. I thought the last touch came off Nico Williams, and so did Jared Bowen. The official on the far side didn't agree. Nico Williams' throw back to Murillo's, really under pressure from two West Ham players, but Williams does well, gets away to Elliot Anderson. He passes to Aina. One touch out of his feet and a lovely whipped ball down the line. Hutchinson, Gibbs White, edge of the area, dinks it through to, well, I think Aaron Jesus was the target, and I think Ali Scales got the shout because Aina showed a real gas there to almost get onto it. Came from the wrong side of Scales for a couple of defenders. Just 1 minute added on as we head towards half time. It's Forest in the ascendancy, throwing Aina to take it. Former Chelsea man, so is Hutchinson, who leaves in the ball. The Nigeria international, wind up, launch it into the box. It's high, it's away from Paquetá and Fernandez. Make it halfway. Murillo just calmly plays it back to Matt Sells. Murillo again to Anderson. Forward ball by him. Scales puts out a long left leg. It'll be another throw. And, well, I think Forest are going to be able to see out this attack at least.
Yeah, you'll see maybe. They've gone back with it in the end, and that might take us over the 46-minute mark as Hutchinson playing it forward. Now Aina down the right side, looking to get the cross in. Back to Dominguez.
Yeah, not the best ball in by Dominguez. And Tony Harrington has seen North. The signs are good so far for West Ham. Murillo's own goal after 13 minutes making the difference, but signs though that Forest are improving heading into the break. Half time, West Ham 1, Nottingham Forest 0.
Half-time at the London Stadium, and so far so good for Nuno Espirito Santo. West Ham lead Nottingham Forest by a single goal to nil in this one. The goal coming courtesy of an own goal from the Brazilian centre-half Murillo. Corner taken by the near post for West Ham. It was flicked on by Souček. Murillo diverting past his own keeper. That came after Forest should have taken the lead 8 minutes in. Nico Williams hitting the bar on the edge of the box. Oh, it was forcing a good save from Areola. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Murillo. Forest battling back well. Calamuton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Murillo. Forest battling back well. Calamuton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola.
ভাবি কিন্তু ইন্টারন্যাশনাল শেফ বুঝছো
রান্নাগুলো যা মজা হয়েছে ভাবিও কি শেফ নাকি
না না ও কিছু করে না ও হাউসওয়াইফ
হাউসওয়াইফ নয় বল হোম মেকার আর এই পুরো সংসারটা তো ওই সামলাচ্ছে
এতটুকু একটা কথা নিয়ে
এতটুকুতেই শুরু হয় শুরুতেই শেষ করতে হয় নে মুখটা মোছ
বসুন্ধরা টিস্যু, অশুদ্ধতার বিরুদ্ধে এক বিন্দুও ছাড় নয়।
Time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario Forest, battling back well. Calamerton Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams with his strike from the edge there, forcing a wonder save from Alfonso Iraola. And then West Ham taking the lead just a few moments later at the set piece. An own goal from Mario. Forest battling back well. Callum Hudson-Odoi hit the bar just before the break, but going into the second half, it's 1-0 to the Irons. Half-time at the London Stadium, and it's 1-0 to West Ham. So far, so good for Nuno in this massive 6-pointer down at the bottom in the Premier League. Forest almost took the lead on the 8-minute mark. Nico Williams. It's a very warm welcome back to this independent and official off-tube studio commentary. This Premier League clash between West Ham and Forest. We're back underway for the second half at the London Stadium. It's still 1-0 to the home side. That goal coming courtesy of their own goal from Mario. Forest have showed signs though of getting back into it. Callum Hudson-Odoi hitting the bar right on the stroke of half-time. A wonderful curling effort from the Nottingham Forest left winger, but for much of that half, not sure those travelling Forest supporters will be happy. West Ham just losing 3-0 to Wolves, reminder, at the weekend, who hadn't won all season. Now they're seeing their side losing to that team as well. They've made a change as well at the break, which I'll bring you news of in just a moment, as that's lovely skill from Paquetá in the middle. He finds Fernandez. West Ham looking to start this second half in fine form and maybe doubling their lead. Somerville works it over towards Scouse. Forest have eventually got enough players back in the way of it now, and the attack might just peter out with Souček. He's forced all the way back towards Todibo, and then Mavropanos to his right. But yet moving on to that change for Nottingham Forest, Amari Hutchinson has made way for Diane Bakwa at the start of the second half. A like-for-like swap. Hutchinson not really doing too much in the first 45 minutes. Bakwa started that 3-1 loss against Aston Villa at Villa Park last time out for Sean Dyche's team. He's on the pitch. Callum Hudson-Odoi is still out on the left. So that does bring me nicely onto the lineups. West Ham, they're still as they were. It's Ariola in goal. Back for is still Walker Peters, Todibo, Mavropanos and Scarles, Souček and Fernandez in midfield, Bowen, Paquetá and Somerville all in behind Tati, Castellanos, who's starting up front. I'll get Forest line up in just a moment, as they are actually attacking at the moment. Jesus out on the right side. Here is Bakwa for his first few touches. Goes for the cross from deep, but there's nowhere past the towering Souček. Bowen will now drive forward. There's no route for him though in the end, and he's forced towards Paquetá. Bowen nicely worked over towards Somerville, and Forest looking a little bit open at the start of this second half. Here's Bowen now, just up towards the edge, goes for the strike as well, always rising in the end. It's over the crossbar. Matt Sells not required, and West Ham caught Forest napping.
Yes, they did, didn't they? I think that's probably going to be a theme of the game. The Hammers allowing Forest to have the ball and possession. Bowen.
AI টেকনোলজির কঙ্কা হ্যাপি ওয়াশিং মেশিন, কটন, সিল্ক, উল, ডেনিম বা পলিস্টার, যত্নের সাথে সব কাপড় পরিষ্কার। কঙ্কা হ্যাপি থাকুন।
And yeah, Mari Hutchinson didn't have much of a say in the first half. Dylan Bakwa on now from a Strasbourg man. Yeah, another left-footed right winger. So well, it must be form rather than tactical, that you think?
Yeah, definitely feels that way. I was just about to go through the Forest team news as well before that chance for Jared Bowen. It's Sells in goal. Back for is Aina, Milenkovic, Mario and Williams, Dominguez and Anderson in midfield. It's now Bakwa, Gibbs-White, Hudson-Odoi holding behind Jesus, who is still the starting striker. Here is Jesus as well, finds Gibbs-White over towards Dominguez. It is still myself, Joshua Makin alongside me, Jack Ogilby taking you through this one. And just a word on the first half as well, Jack. Forest definitely frustrated at times by West Ham, but did show signs of getting back into it.
Yeah, they were the better side towards the end of the half, certainly having a lot of possession. We saw Hudson-Odoi hit the bar. Williams into the box, tries to slalom through, doesn't quite. Nico Dominguez has a shot at goal. It comes off a West Ham player. Has to be a corner kick. He's suggested it should have been I don't know how it's not a corner kick. He suggested it should be a potential penalty. The referee Tony Harrington's got his hand on the earpiece. It comes back. It's a bit of a scramble, and it definitely comes off Mavropanos. It probably comes off the bottom of his hand, but I'm not quite sure where I stand on that, because he's moving his hand away. It's a real melee in the end.
Yeah, it goes through off a number of bodies. I'm not sure how it's not been given as a corner, as you were saying, Jack. It definitely took a touch off a West Ham player last. It looks a little bit too close, though, to give a penalty. Nothing either of them can do about it. Dominguez pleads his case with the referee, but I don't think he's going to get anything for a handball. Still, the corner has been missed, though. West Ham getting the goal kick. We'll be able to launch up the field.
It's crazy with VAR. They've checked a penalty there. They've not given it, but then they can't give a corner kick, which is quite annoying. You think that, I think that would earn VAR a lot of bonus points with fans if they could make just as easy decisions like that.
Yeah, not able to do it in the end. As Forest attacking, good tackle from Aina on Scarles. He's a bit exposed now as well. Bakwa down the right hand side, cuts it across. That is a terrible pullback from Bakwa. Good opportunity there for Forest, and he couldn't even beat the first man. West Ham will counter now with Somerville. Shrugs off the challenge from Gibbs-White. Still going, Crescencio Somerville. He's round Dominguez and keeps on going before he's tackled. West Ham pick it up. Look, Castellanos switches it to Walker Peters on his left foot now. Walker Peters trying to bend one, falls to Somerville, gets the shot down, and it's into the back of the net. Crescencio Somerville doubles West Ham's lead just as Forest had the chance down the other end. Somerville gets his strike in the box, hits it hard and low, and West Ham with some clear daylight between themselves and Forest.
Yeah, he's been criticised for not having the end product, hasn't he, Somerville? But he's produced there. It was good running initially by him down the left-hand side. The nice play by Castellanos, switching it towards Kyle Walker-Peters. His shot was blocked. The Nottingham Forest players are complaining about something. Well, the thing I actually took most from is the finish from Somerville, and all the Forest players just dropped to their knees. The body language was appalling, I would say, from Forest, but great play by Somerville. He instigates it. The ball is a tackle by Milenkovic. I'm not quite sure what they're actually asking for here, Forest. The shot comes in from Kyle Walker-Peters. It's chested down by Somerville. West Ham found against Brighton in December that phases of play and all those kind of things kind of peter out if the opposition touches the ball. There doesn't look to be any sort of foul play at all by any of the West Ham players. I don't know what the Forest are complaining about there. Did you see anything, Josh?
There might have been maybe a hint of offside from Castellanos as he's coming back. I don't know if the Forest players were appealing about that, though. It's way too close to make the point. We'll have to see if there is going to be any check ongoing. I thought it was a little bit over the top from the Forest players, but they are having a look at something at the moment. Referee...
But I think what it might be is like Milenkovic, I thought he tackled the man, so then Castellanos... Is he... Well, we just need to see, does Milenkovic play it on to Somerville or not? Well, it looks like the goal, pretty conclusive, has been ruled out, so only 1-0. Nuno Espirito Santo, distraught. Sean Dyche delighted.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, you saw the Forest players' reaction there as they sunk to their knees. It looked like they were already beaten as that second goal went
Maria
in.
was face down.
Yeah.
It was almost like the 90th minute, wasn't it? Sorry, took the words out of your mouth there.
Like they'd accepted relegation already there, the Forest players. Crescencio Somerville, well, penny for his thoughts. He thought he'd just got his first goal of the season, only his second goal for West Ham since signing from Leeds at the start of last season. He's going to have to continue his way. It's a fantastic finish from the Dutchman, but unluckily for him, after his hard work in the build-up as well, he's not going to get his reward.
Yeah, we question why can't it was easy, the simple like stepping in for that corner kick. We're still almost, we know it's offside, but we're not quite sure who was offside and who was playing, why they're offside at the moment, are we?
Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzling one. Castellanos was maybe just a foot offside, but it was quite a quick check for VAR standards with offside, usually waiting for 2 or 3 minutes maybe.
Well, I thought we would have seen a replay of, because it looked like Milenkovic had played it on to Somerville and that's why he was offside, but we didn't see any of that.
No, there was no other close-up replays. It was just checking to see if Castellanos was in an offside position. See the semi-automation there, that's what they've given it for. It's, I think it must be Mario who's ended up.
But it's Nico Williams, isn't it, the number 3? But at the same time, like we need to see the. I think from a fan experience watching this game, everyone needs to be able to see that incident. And we'll just be told it's offside rather than why it's offside, because it's very, very tight, isn't it? It is offside, but at the same time, it looked like Milenkovic played the ball.
Certainly did. It'll be a question that will be asked at the end of the game as Forest are attacking now. Lead off to Williams inside the box, gets his shot off as well. Walker-Peters slides in and it's out for a corner. West Ham have just got to try and manage the game now, haven't they? They've been so close to going 2-0 up. Thought they had made it 2-0, and all of a sudden if Forest go and score now, it's level after they could have been out of sight.
What a lift it is for Forest as well. You've got to feel that Nico Williams is going to have some sort of say on the outcome of this game as well. That great shot in the first half, just about, definitely not by design, definitely by accident played. The man offside there. Corner kick comes in.
Anderson with it as well, and it's looped in. It's Dominguez who claims the goal in the end. It was a chaotic one again. A corner leading to a goal in this match. Dominguez is the one wheeling away in celebration. We'll have to see a replay. There was a man on the far post who just couldn't get a touch to it in the end. Espirito Santo looks distraught. West Ham a few moments ago were 2-0 up in this game, or they thought they were, and just like that it's now 1-1.
Well, they concede too many goals from set pieces. We know that about West Ham, don't we? And Nico Dominguez is 5'7". He makes a bit of a dummy run. He might be offside. No, he's not. He just about gets back on side. It's an own goal, I think, of Tati Castellanos when we see it again. So he was offside. Does Dominguez get the first touch? Maybe he does. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to see it again. Either way, it's a Forest goal and an equaliser.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can see it. I think it is actually Dominguez, isn't it? I mean, not sure if he's meant to do that one, to loop it all the way into the far post. It's Walker-Peters who's on that back post, but he can't get the touch. It's just over him. And what a header that is from Nicholas Dominguez out of pretty much nothing as well for Forest. West Ham have been the better side at the start of this second half, but the Argentinian has his first goal of the season, his first goal since the 23-24 season when he scored 2 for the Reds, and has that led some life now into Forest? They're attacking again. Williams can't keep it in this time, but just as you were saying, Jack, what a lift that offside decision's giving them.
Absolutely, it just gives them that momentum. We saw the body language. You see Murillo very quick, isn't he, across the ground. He gets in ahead of Jarrod Bowen. Walker Peters wins a header over Callum Hudson-Odoi. But yeah, the body language now from Forest. They're up, they're moving again like they were in the first half. It was quite telling, maybe the lack of confidence in the camp, the way they all went down once that Somerville strike went in. But it's such a lift.
It's well out on the left hand side. They're going to take it short as well. It's flicked to Gibbs White. He's not closed down. Finds Hudson-Odoi to his left, who just about keeps it in on his right foot. Cuts it across goal. There's the shot from the edge. Dominguez bouncing around a little bit before West Ham eventually clear it through Souček. Only as far though as Backward, who does the smart thing in the end and lets it trickle on out for a throw in. Taken quickly to Dominguez. Backward just ahead of him again. Cuts onto his left. Finds Dominguez once more. Playing it between them two at the moment before Backward finds the one at Scales. Gets his cross out as well. Left-footed Murillo with the downwards header. It's on target. Areola though in the right place at the right time. He gathers it nicely. Go for the long throw in as well towards Castellanos, who's bullied off it in the end by the three Forest players, who will surge forward now with Elliot Anderson. Has to stop by for a moment and back to Nico Williams, but almost a second goal there for Nottingham Forest.
It feels like Forest time in the game now, doesn't it? Murillo getting up well, but not quite getting the purchase he wanted on the penalty. West Ham, they did sit back for long spells of that first half. That's what they're doing this second half as well, and Forest in the ascendancy.
Yep, they certainly are. Backward has made an impact since coming on, you have to say. Good impact down the right there, as well as Scales comes across to cover. He has to put it out for a corner in the end. There's no other option for him. Well, Nottingham Forest have just equalised through a corner on this near side. This time it's going to be by the other corner flag, the in-swinger again, this time coming though from Backward, and that says it all there, Jack. As you were saying, West Ham, you can see the most this season from corners. It's 12 now. That's 4 more than Nottingham Forest on 8, who are the next worst team. Backward swings it in. It's towards the near post again. I think the referee may have given a free kick in the end, though. Someone's gone down in the box, and West Ham will get a chance to breathe.
Yeah, there was loads of pushing and shoving going on. Paquetá and Ego Jesus were having to go at each other, and it just felt somewhat inevitable. We're going to see that offside decision now. And it's a tackle between Milenkovic. Castellanos is offside, but Milenkovic gets the last touch. Does that mean he should have been... He got the last touch, so surely Castellanos should have been onside.
Yeah, it's hard to see, isn't it, with the replay?
But that replay we saw was clear. Yeah, so
there'll definitely be a debate about that one, I think, after the game. Definitely from the West Ham supporters, I feel they've been hard done by with that one.
Well, we did query it, then we didn't see the replay. We thought it must have been clear cut, but we thought, we should see the replay. We've seen it there, and the final touch, the ball reaching Castellanos, definitely comes off Milenkovic. I suppose maybe the doubt is he off Somerville? Is Castellanos offside as Somerville touched it before? I'll be honest, I'm not 100% on the rule.
No, I don't think anyone is at the moment with the offsides. But as it stands, West Ham have not got that second. Forest have battled back well, somehow kept in though, and Somerville will drive inside now. Links up nicely with Souček. Dominguez with a lovely sliding tackle and Gibbs White onto that one. Challenges flying in now at the London Stadium. Tadibo with the latest one, and the referee is going to go to his cards for the first time this evening. There's not been too many fouls in this game. It's flowed quite nicely. It's not been very stop-started, but a few challenges flying in there, and Tadibo is the first man in the book.
Yes, Pretty old school challenge there, wasn't it, from Todibo? He was out of position, was the Frenchman. His 4th yellow of the season, right on the hour mark. There's not been too many bad challenges or anything like that. We're going to see a change here for West Ham. Looks like another of the new strikers is going to come on. Castellanos started the game. You're not quite sure who's going to get through the full 90. Looks like Pablo is going to come on. He's get some final instructions from Nuno Espirito Santo. Bit of action as well, I think, on the Nottingham Forest bench, but Forest continue to be in the ascendancy.
Yeah, they certainly do, as Anderson brings it forward now, finds Hudson-Odoi out on the left-hand side, touches a little bit behind him, but he still retains it. Back to Anderson, crosses from deep, that's a good ball, headed up in the air by Mavropanos. Backward brings it down just on the edge of the area. He'll go back towards Aina, and now Dominguez. That's a bit of a loose pass, but again Aina recovers it well. Backward turns nicely inside. Dominguez just ahead of him. They've still got all of this one. Backward now down the right hand side after receiving the pass. Todibo comes across well and gets the block in. It's going to be a throw in just by the corner flag. But you feel at this point, next goal of the game is going to be crucial, and if any team's going to get it, it's looking like Forest.
I think West Ham will feel hard done by that decision, but Forest have been by far the better side in the second half, especially. They play with real intensity and purpose, whereas the Hammers just haven't really come out.
No, certainly haven't, as the long throw in is looped into the box. Castellanos now has it on the edge there, turns away nicely from his man as well. That's a really poor touch, so he gets too much of Williams as well. It's going to be a free kick. Not a great moment there for the debutant, who remains on the pitch for the time being as we wait for the substitution to be made. I think the referee is now finally going to allow time for it. 62.5 minutes gone. It's West Ham 1, Nottingham Forest 1 at the London Stadium.
I'm just looking at minute by minutes from other media companies, and they're having the same conversation we are. They've seen that replay as well, and everyone's just a bit puzzled at the moment. A double change as well for the Hammers. Mentioned Pablo coming on, but a player who's starting to see quite a few minutes. Ollie Scales has been replaced, but Ezra Mayers is going to come on. He started to see a few minutes in recent weeks. So Paquetá and Pablo off, Paquetá and Scales off, Mayers and Pablo on.
Yep, certainly. So Tati Castellanos remains on the pitch. West Ham, for a lot of times this season, haven't played with a single striker on the pitch. They're now playing with two for the rest of this match, unless Castellanos is withdrawn, as the free kick is floated in by Elliot Anderson. Referee says a touch came off a West Ham man last, so it's going to be another corner for the Reds. It's just over on that far side again. You'd imagine it's going to be backward to take it. So the referee's got some sorting out, so it's really starting to throw it down now as well at the London Stadium. Rainy conditions coming into effect, as it is going to be backward to deliver this one. Williams and Anderson waiting in space on the edge of the box, but most players crowding the referee, and it comes out from the Forest man. A header comes off today, but maybe off Mayers in the end. It sort of luckily ricochets back to Areola as a result of it, and West Ham survived that one. Todibo will now bring it forward after the rollout from Areola. Myers with a nice touch to Somerville, plays it back towards the substitute nicely, looks for the return to the Dutchman as well. It's just too far in front of him. Aina receives it, back to Sells now, sends it long up the pitch. It's a good one as well. Can Forest get the bits at the end of it? They can't. Now headed back into the centre. Williams down under a challenge again. The Welshman winning a free kick. It's Jared Bowen this time, the guilty party I should say. Forest take it quickly, floated down the left towards Williams, holds it up nicely for Hudson-Odoi. Again tries to thread it through the lines, but West Ham come away with it nicely. Back now with Walker-Peters. Forest press still remaining strong. Williams going right up to tackle him in the end. West Ham will get themselves a throw-in. I mentioned about the other game available on our service as well this evening. That's Rangers versus Aberdeen. It's 2-0 to the Glaswegian side, and as you were saying, Jack, about the second half belonging to Nottingham Forest, you've seen the match stats there, and you could definitely say it's the away side.
Yeah, well, Jared Bowen had the early shot way over. That's West Ham's only shot, not on target so far in the second half. 62% possession. Forest have had 4 goals a goal. 9 times they've been in the West Ham box just in this second half alone. West Ham haven't quite made it up to the 18-yard area. It's crazy at the moment. And Forest certainly in the ascendancy. I've been quite impressed actually by Forest. I don't think they've played well at all. They're just not clicking, but there's a lot of spirit in this side.
Yeah, definitely is. Needs to be at this stage in the game as well. Game's on a knife edge, you could say, at the moment. Next goal, as I mentioned, absolutely crucial. As we make our way towards the 66-minute mark, and this huge game in the Premier League could belong to anyone as it stands, but Forest take it short. It's towards Hudson-Odoi on the left wing, gets round Somerville. Fernandes comes across nicely, and Hudson-Odoi trying to do too much there in the end. It goes out for a goal kick, and West Ham will be able to launch it up the field again.
Yeah, I feel that's kind of a moment that West Ham needed, a bit of a cool head there from Fernandes to step across and watch the ball out, because we're not in the ground, but you imagine there's real nervous energy every time the Forest get a free kick or a corner kick, because West Ham, because they 12 times rather from set pieces so far this season, it just looks so vulnerable when the ball's in the air.
Yeah, there's so much tension in the box, isn't there? Every time Forest get themselves a corner, as Backwin out tries to bring it forward again, he's hacked down by a Hammers player in the centre. Referee in a good position, gives the free kick. It's the way of the away side, and feel like they're more likely to get the opening, the second lead in this game, I should say. Goes down the left channel. Jesus giving chase again. He's been quiet during this second half. That's good defending in the end from Mavropanos, who just lets it out for a goal kick. Another one for West Ham. Can they make the most of it though this time and find a West Ham shirt inside the opposition half? That does take us up towards the 3/4 mark of this game though. It's anyone's match at the moment. A real 6-pointer in the Premier League, and with the final quarter to go, it's West Ham 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Will be Jack to take you through to half time.
Yeah, Hammers coming at 4, but Aina reads it, looks it into the rainy East London sky. It's such an opportunity this for Nottingham Forest, I think, because West Ham took the lead. We'd almost seen it from their point of view, but if Forest win tonight, 7 points clear of the relegation zone. They've got Europa League football. It's almost a season if they can get that gap there, isn't it? As Myers, that's good play by him for the Hammers. He'll find Tati Castellano. He's got his fellow Newman in front of him, but finds instead Jared Bodie. Goes down the right side, gets the shot away, well read by Nico Williams. Pablo and Castellanos switching roles. Pablo 10 goals in 13 Portuguese Superliga games this season. With the players who came in from Portugal, Masis Fernandes, of course, had a season at Southampton last term, relegated. Well done there by, that's a foul by Elliot Anderson. No, play on by the referee. I thought Somerville went down easily, but it looked like Anderson went across him as well. It may be just 6 of one, half of the other. That's good play by Jesus, who's won Forest about 50 yards of territory there. We've seen that incident again. Somerville goes across and he's tripped for me by Anderson. Referee was right behind it. He just go maybe a bit easily there, Somerville, but it's a clear foul. It's a clear clip of his trailing leg. And a free kick on the edge of the area it would have been. West Ham, maybe words got around the ground and to the dugout that it wasn't as clear cut. Maybe that goal disallowed for Somerville. They just need to keep their heads here. Nuno's losing his. He's just received a yellow card for his protestations at that. Former Nottingham Forest manager certainly nailing his claret and blue colours to the mast there, I think.
Yeah, who can blame him as well? It's a clear free kick. You're right, the contact is minimal on Somerville, but he's at full speed heading towards the edge of the box. He's clearly tripped by Anderson. Nothing given for it. Forest now down the other end. Dominguez on the edge of the box. Now falls to Williams.
Yes, Williams works a good ball round to Hudson-Odoi. Kyle Walker-Peters does well against him. Hudson-Odoi overcomplicates it, really, trying to flick it back between his legs. Castellanos gets ahead of Murillo, but Murillo just marks space so well. He's got the long shorts like a basketball player, and he plays like a basketball player at times. He's marked space really well. He's still going as the Brazilian tries to toe poke it through to his compatriot Hugo Jesus. West Ham not happy. They thought there was a couple of infringements in amongst all that. I mentioned they just need to calm themselves down. Pablo looks pretty cool. He'll go back to Souček. Fernandes has found, probably around about 30 square yards in the middle of the park. He can come forward with no Forest players around him into the Forest half. He gives it back to Souček and they go back there. West Ham What was the movement like ahead of them? I'm not quite sure. The midfielders didn't see anything on. Pablo now wide to Walker-Peters, who opens his body, plays it down the line to Fernandez. Walker-Peters back to Mavropanos. The Greek steadies himself. Got 2 players to aim for now. Didn't include Jared Bowen there, but Williams has marked him well in this game. He does well, but loses out. Pablo's into the box. We're going to allow him to shoot. Deflected effort off the back of Murillo. Well, I thought it was, but he's retreating. It's the Brazilian forward. Anderson just lost his footing. Pablo right edge of the box. It's the angle's working against him. And I think maybe it just was a clear effort just wide of the target.
Yeah, well, Jared Bowen applauds him just to his right, but I think he should be thinking maybe should be being found in that situation. He's making the run to the right of him, but Felipe...
It's a clear deflection,
definitely deflects. That's the second time it's happened.
They didn't ask for it, did they, West Ham? Nico Williams has got, I think maybe just, hopefully he's just been stood on his ankle, but look, maybe an Achilles problem. Look at the bench. Nico Savona might be the option. A right back. Aina could switch to left back, or if they want a defensive option, Morato maybe. For Forest, 1-1 game, really in the balance. Pablo goes up, Hernandez wins it, tries to flick it on. Castellanos can't quite get there. Williams has recovered and plays a good ball forward. Diego Jesus does really well to find Dominguez. He can break forward. The Argentinian's got Hudson-Odoi to his left. Feeds it to him. The ball just a bit too strong. Hudson-Odoi will rescue it though. Then play it back towards the edge of the ball. Dominguez there, low shot. Comes through the bodies. Well anticipated by Areola, diving to his left-hand side and making the save.
Yeah, no goals before this game this season for Nicolas Dominguez, but he almost secures his brace for a moment there. West Ham don't get in close enough to him. They lost the ball again in the midfield. It's so open at the moment. Every time someone wins it, sort of high up the pitch, there's so much space for them to run into. Both defences looking exposed. Both teams, they need a win, really. I don't think a point does anyone good in this situation, except maybe Leeds United and Bournemouth at this sort of stage. They both need the 3 points massively, and it's telling with how they're playing so far in this one. Committing numbers forward, we're in for a thrilling finish, no matter what it is, at this game at London Stadium.
Yeah, West Ham a bit fortunate to win a free kick there, foul by Jesus on Suchek. I didn't think there was too much in. Would have been a Forest throw in West Ham's half. Of course, plenty more games tomorrow, 8 in total, all available on this service in the Premier League. Newcastle, Leeds, Bournemouth, they're at home to Tottenham. Bournemouth winless in 11. I think it looks like it's going to be Antoine Semenyo's final game as well. So much to play for in the Premier League. Then it's Arsenal against Liverpool on Thursday. There's 4 FA Cup games on this service on Friday night as well. So plenty of action, plenty of excitement. So West Ham coming forward. Bowen just about into the box, tease it across the area. Aina reads the game well, doesn't he? Comes across, clears it out, set for a corner kick.
Yeah, huge intervention there by the Nottingham Forest defender. Right place, right time, using his experience expertly. Just make sure he tracks the run of Castellanos in behind him, knows exactly where he is at all times, gets across. He's good with his clearance as well, because it could be an awkward one on his weaker foot. Just sends it high and out of play. Probably the best thing to do in that situation. But as a result, West Ham do have a set piece.
Yes, the fans rise behind the goal. West Ham are attacking. The Forest faithful as well. They're at that end too. Lots of jostling in the 6-yard area. Bowen's ball is dug out. Both sides have scored from corner kicks. The last touch came of a West Ham player. It will be a goal kick. I mentioned the goal. The draw doesn't really work for West Ham in this game. Does Forest? They'll be still 4 points clear of the bottom 3. Weekend games. West Ham are home to QPR in the FA Cups. That's on Sunday. Forest got a quick turnaround. They've got Wrexham away from home. Championship and a Premier League team, but it'll still be, I think, first on the TV schedule, that one. It's got a real FA Cup upset vibes, despite the Red Dragons doing really, really well. Fernandez tries to slide it through. Well done by Aina. Pablo picks up the second ball. Now Myers. Pablo hooks it into Milenkovic. Aynett will clear his lines. West Ham just enjoying a decent spell at the moment. Don't look too competent in possession, and as I say that, Todibo loses the ball. Gibbs White forward to Hudson-Odoi, shows too much fit to Kyle Walker-Peters. Mayers, he looks like a player who wants to play forward. He does there. Bowen in a central position. He's got Castellanos one side. He tries to use the Argentinian. It was a poor pass. It was behind him. Cleared by Anderson to Walker-Peters. Now Pablo plays it back to Walker-Peters. Level the 6-yard box. Goes for a goal. Good save. Comes back and another good save. Great cat-like reflexes initially from Sells down to his right-hand side, and it came back to Castellanos straight at the Belgian second time round. Good play by Walker-Peters, good play by West Ham in fact. Pablo seems to be making an impact on his debut. Nice weighted ball to Walker-Peters. Was cat-like, wasn't it, from Sells? Then Castellanos just made himself big there, the goalkeeper, a double save.
Yeah, important there from the Belgian. That's what Forest fans will expect from their goalkeeper. He was brilliant last season, lost his place a little bit in the team, but now he's just been forced into a big save. The two new signings having big moments in the last couple of seconds there for West Ham. I think Pablo's definitely the better of the two players that they've brought in. Castellanos at times, touch looks a little bit heavy. You can let him off as he's only just signed for the club in the recent days. Gets the second shot at it there. Tough angle, few players around him as well. Can't quite find the corner that he's looking for. And Forest survive that one. But again, it just keeps switching and flowing this game. You think 1 minute it's Forest who look the more likely, then it's West Ham. It's really on a knife edge.
Yeah, low flat free kick from Fernandez, headed out by Gibbs White. Thinks he should have maybe got a bit of help there. The Forest skipper continues to wear the armband. Ryan Yates out with a hamstring injury at the moment. The type of player you want in a battle like this, Ryan Yates. I have to say, I think Dominguez and Anderson have both played well in the middle of the park. No Sangare, of course, away at AFCON. Forest was conceded 12 times in the final 15 minutes of games this season. Ball's a deep one towards Castellanos. It's away by Forest. Mayers tries to rescue it, then Gibbs White missed kicks, but he finds Jesus. Fernandez does well to stand his ground. It'll be a throw to the Hammers, right in front of Nuno's technical area. He prowls away. Looks like Potts is going to come on for West Ham in the not too distant future. Freddie Potts, son of Steve. Brother was a good player at left back as well, but injuries didn't work out. Playing the Premier League with Luton, though, did Dan. As we see, Freddie Potts been a breakthrough player for the Hammers, dropped out today. Looks like he's going to get the final 12 and more, but it's still delayed. Sure, that was a foul throw. By the trajectory, it must have been. No, play on. Souček steps in. He's a good game in the middle of the park. Now, Mayers on halfway, works it back to Matis Fernandez. Skips by one potential tackle. Now short to Souček. Fernandez has got Mavropanos forward. Potts waits in the rain and the cold. Walker-Peters will open his body out, try and whip it round the corner. Turn and go by Bowen. Mayers has got space if he can find him. Souček can, but the ball wasn't the best. Behind the youngster. Now Souček again, 30 yards out in a central position. Plays it to Somerville. Now Fernandez. Into Pablo. Looks to turn. Goes back to Walker-Peters. Bowen getting involved. No real whip for West Ham. Pablo's offering something on the right-hand side. Inside to Walker-Peters. Feels the pressure of Jesus. Anderson gets a touch in there. Bowen goes down. It was good play by Nico Dominguez and play on as Jesus looks to come forward for Nottingham Forest. He's got Gibbs White. Oh, he took too long. Gibbs White was free in the middle, but Jesus hesitated. Mavropanos hesitated. She had too much of the ball. And Nico Williams' trademark sliding tackle. A throw to West Ham, level with the edge of the Nottingham Forest area.
Yeah, it's definitely on a knife edge, isn't it? So much space is still, and still can't really guess who's going to get that next goal. I think it's West Ham at the moment. Fernandez is going to make way though for Freddie Potts. That's West Ham's next change. And I think Nuno's got to be a little bit careful. He was pretty much on the pitch then, appealing for the decision his way, as he thought one of his players had been fouled as Forest brought the ball away. He's on a yellow card, so obviously he's walking the tightrope. Doesn't want to get suspended for a touchline ban. Will help his side out in where they find themselves. But Forest with some lovely football there from Jesus.
Yeah, really good play. Holds it up their back heels, but seems to be playing it. Bowen could be in here, right into the box. Murillo, brilliant. Covers the ground so well. Hint of offside, I have to say, against Bowen. Murillo puts his arm up, has his ball forward. Murillo did really well there. I think it is going to be a corner kick. We're seeing it again. It might have been Murillo who's actually playing him on side. Yeah, he just comes across, steps across the man, gets the block.
Yeah, fantastic from Murillo. Has improved as the game's gone on. That's more like the Murillo of last season. Fantastic pace and strength. Just gets there to close down Jared Bowen before he can get the shot off. It is on his weaker right foot anyways. There is the hint of offside, but it's a challenge the Brazilian still has to make.
Yeah, ball into the box again. Everyone crowding the 6-yard area. Murillo gets it away. Castellanos back to Myers, who helps in. Milenkovic with a header this time. Souček flicks onto Bowen, chests it down and gets the shot. Drags it wide there. One of those where you almost think it's rolled down his left leg. Frustration for the Hammers fans. Goal kick.
Yeah, again, just agonisingly close again for West Ham. So many nearly moments. Again, it's Bowen involved. You're thinking normally on form he connects with that one a lot better and forces Matt Sells into a worldie where he actually even scores. In the end, it does. It just sort of rolls down his feet and can't get the strike off. It goes wide of the post. Crucial moments in this game. We mentioned about it being on a knife edge. It certainly still is, but West Ham really look the team more likely to take the lead in this one. You were thinking maybe Forest now just take the point and get out there. They've still got that gap that they had before the game. If they manage it, still the team more likely to stay up. Of course, lots of football to be played still this season, but a point suits them more than Forest.
Yes.
A point suits them more than West Ham, I should say.
Forest, it could be a big point, but I think the way that West Ham defend, especially set pieces, I think they just get that one chance. West Ham have perhaps been in the ascendancy for the last 15 minutes or so, perhaps since Dominguez's goal on 65 minutes, we're on 82 now, but Forest just have that bit of quality, a bit of pop and a bit of zip about their play. Could he get a set piece? Could he get a chance? We only had 1 minute of added time as well in the first half, and the rise of added time has really almost added a new chapter to a lot of games, hasn't it? As that could be telling us Nico Williams finds Hudson-Odoi. Back to Nico Williams. Whipped ball in a low one, away from Bakwa. Gibbs White almost turned his back on it. And it's cleared away. Now Murillo into Dominguez. Milenkovic to Aina. Dominguez. Anderson wanted the ball, but he actually proved a good decoy, so Murillo could play it forward. Hudson-Odoi back to Nico Williams. Got Hudson-Odoi wide on the left hand side. It was a foul by Pablo, and the referee decided to give the free kick rather than the advantage. It's right on the angle of the West Ham box on the left hand side. Not a lot of angle to work with, but still good delivery, could cause chaos.
Yeah, these are moments that Forest will absolutely love. They finally get the chance to get the ball high up the pitch and they just get an easy foul like that. It's a cheap one conceded by Pablo, and this is in a decent position. I'm not sure if Elliot Anderson will be wanting to line up the shot. It just feels like it's a little bit too wide to take the shot on from that sort of position. If it's a bit more central, he might be fancying it, but regardless, it's going to be him standing over it.
Yeah, he's standing over the ball, 2 arms up. It usually means deep, that one, doesn't it? This is an opportunity to shoot, I would think. Ball in, comes off a real melee. There's 5 bodies, including the goalkeeper, down there. Nico Dominguez is suggesting something's gone on here. Mon Gibbs White is down, clutching his chest. Tadibo is down as well, suggesting a coming together. We've got a replay. The ball comes in. As I think it might be a coming. I wanted to see. Oh, it's Souček said. I didn't quite see where the ball was. Who got the ball there? Areola comes and absolutely clears Gibbs White out. He's nowhere near the ball there. This might be a problem for West Ham. Yeah. But we'll have to see.
I still wonder if this is getting checked, to be honest. I mean, there's no indication of whether VAR. Let's have a look. Well, they are going to have a look now.
Yeah, well, it's dangerous play, isn't it, by the goalkeeper? He's made contact with Morgan Gibbs White's head. The ball's not going to reach Gibbs White, but
He's going to have a look.
Yes, he is going to have a look, and you can't see anything but a foul being awarded here. Sean Dyche is adamant.
You know what this usually means as well when they go over towards the monitor like that. I've been praising Areola this game. He's made a few big saves, hasn't he? But that's just a stupid moment, really. Goalkeepers, maybe he's just thinking keepers usually get protected in those situations. But if he's going to come for the ball like that, he's got to get the ball and not the man. He gets absolutely none of the ball at all and clears Gibbs White out. I think the referee is going to award Forest a penalty here.
Yeah, I think it's a penalty. It's dangerous play. I think West Ham will again though think, well, Gibbs White wasn't getting to get the ball, is it? Those kind of things. It's one of those you see them given and you see them not given, but I think this is going to be given. It's really loose play by Alphonse Areola against Forest last year. He passed the ball straight to Morgan Gibbs White. He and Gibbs White clash again. Gibbs White has scored twice in the last 3 meetings between these two teams, and you imagine he would be the penalty taker. Tony Harrington has seen what he wants. Has seen what he's seen on the screen. Makes the VAR gesture. The only thing it's going to head one way is explaining to the crowd. It's independent off-tube studio commentary, so we don't have the audio, but we can all lip read, and he says penalty and points to the spot.
Yeah, well, they're going to plead the case. Bowen, Areola and plenty of the West Ham players surrounding. Cuts to Nuno in the stands as well, who's now on his chair, hands in his head. I mean, what a moment this could be in the relegation battle. If Forest can convert here and hold on for the 3 points, you might think, even with all the football left to play this season, that could be West Ham out of it.
Yes. It's a strange one, that, isn't it? It's one of those where I think you're annoyed if it's given against your side, but for me it's a penalty all day, and it should be a penalty all day because the goalkeepers, he's nowhere near, is he, Areola? Goalkeepers have a huge advantage that they can use the hands, but they shouldn't be in opposition players' faces. No, they certainly can't be doing that. I mean, we were praising Areola, wasn't we, for this game, for some of the saves he made, but then he just shows that other side to him, that sort of calamitous side that you always feel he's a little bit of a bomb scare. He can always do something chaotic in the box. That's what he's done now. Gibbs White, who was fouled for the penalty, and he's going to step up to take it. Yeah, the Nottingham Forest captain stands up. Areola tries to make himself as big as he can. The away end will be waiting, anticipating a huge moment this could be in both sides' seasons. They might be heading for the exit, the West Ham fans, if this goes in. It's Gibbs White against Areola. The whistle goes. Gibbs White composes himself. He waits. Areola makes himself big on the line. Gibbs White stunning run up. Strikes for goal. Straight down the middle. The goalkeeper went to his right hand side. Gibbs White went through the middle. And Forest lead 2-1 at the London Stadium. Yeah, ice in the veins there from Morgan Gibbs White. And what a moment that is for Nottingham Forest. 4 losses in a row, but they look to be winning this massive game against West Ham. It's a cool penalty. He always keeps his eyes on Areola. Waits, sort of wears down the goalkeeper's nerve, and then just calmly slots it down the middle. Areola has already dived at that point. He can't redeem himself. And going into the final minutes of this game, it's Forest in the lead in this huge 6-pointer. Massive goal in the context of the Premier League season. And West Ham barely have time to get the game back underway. Yeah, you say 6 points. They're now 7 points clear as things stand of the relegation places. Nottingham Forest, they've been the better side, I have to say. The Hammers took the lead, yet sat back on it and didn't really. Well, they've had 2 shots in the second half of West Ham. Sean Dyche, both index fingers pointing to his temples. Focus is the word for him. Nuno, you've got to feel sorry for him. The West Ham fans head for the exits. Nuno, head in hands on the sidelines. It's all in now for West Ham. They have to get a draw. Didn't do them much good coming into this game. A defeat, in other words, beginning with D, is disastrous, I think. Yeah, it really does. I mentioned it had the feel maybe knocking West Ham out for this season. And again, they've played fairly decently and competed for a lot of times and looked even the more likely of winning it for a lot of the stages. To lose a game like this at home as well, you've got to think about the run they've just had. They had 4 fairly winnable fixtures, you feel. They played Fulham, they lost that, they drew with Brighton and then lost to Wolves. If they lose to Forest now, that's
one of the best parts they'll have to pick up points this season. They've not taken enough at all, and that could be what sends them down.
Well, they're not in this position because of tonight, but I think they've not been second. They have been second best this evening, but they've shown desire, and that's not always been the case. I don't think it was against Wolves, and maybe Fulham as well, and in other games. 7 minutes have been added on. It's a deep cross towards Pablo. Can he be the hero? Nico Williams has gone down. Hudson-Odoi overplays. It's going to be a throw to West Ham, 25 yards out for the Nottingham Forest goal. Ham is attacking left to right. And West Ham have also got a problem in that their goal difference is appalling, really. Yeah. Minus 21 to Forest, minus 13. Bournemouth and Leeds 15 and 16, both minus 7. There's been rumours that Nuno may go should his side lose this evening. Morato's going to come on, former Benfica defender for Forest. He waits. And he waits and he waits and he waits, and he's going to be allowed to wait because whoever's going to replace him isn't going to rush off. You wouldn't. It's going to be Backward, who was a half-time sub. Job done, I suppose, for Dylan Backward, the former Strasbourg man. Morato, it'll be head it, kick it and run away, won't it, for him? That'll be his role. Goes to the left side of a back three now. Milenkovic to the right, Murillo down the middle. Throwing doesn't really work out for West Ham. Myers has it though. Somerville had that goal disallowed. There'll be controversy, I think, about that in the phone-ins in the post-match game. 61 minutes, then Dominguez equalised after 64. Again, a poorly defended set piece from West Ham, the 12th goal they've conceded with set pieces this season. And then goal, Areola, goalkeeper making a mistake. Gibbs White fouled, dusting himself off, coolly playing it down the middle of the goal. He's not had a great evening. Gibbs White's form has suffered in recent times, but he looks like he's going to be the hero once again at the London Stadium for Forest. Tadibo has it on halfway. No urgency about West Ham. Forest sat back 5-4-1. Jesus, the solitary figure in attack. He's not having to press though because West Ham are so slow. Tadibo plays a poor ball forward. Murillo steps in. Own goal. Excellent since then though, you have to say. Hammered down the line by Dominguez. Potts is the deepest player. Mavropanos back with him. Potts will find the Greek. Both Sean Dyche and Nuno Espirito Santo on the edge of the technical areas. Walker-Peters. Souček goes down. Handball. I thought it was a handball by Souček, but the foul had already been given. They take it short there, West Ham, which is a surprise considering Forest, as bad as West Ham are, Forest are almost as bad as defending balls into the area. Tabibo's going to try one of those. He floats it towards, Nico Williams really. It's poor. Williams goes down. Walker-Peters jumps into him. I thought Williams was playing the situation there, but fair play to him because he's got the free kick. It's going to be a yellow card against Walker-Peters, so there must be more in it than we saw. Tony Harrington takes his name and a chance for Forest to take a few seconds out of the game.
Yeah, they look beaten, don't they, West Ham? They don't look like they're going to be able to get anything back and answer back to that Forest goal there from Gibbs White. Walker-Peters just sort of remains in the air and goes into Nico Williams, who stays down. It's a deserved yellow card, his second this season. But yeah, the West Ham players, they just look beaten. It's the Forest fans now who are going to be singing the most. There's barely many people left in the stadium really at this point. A penny for the thoughts of those supporters. It's a real bleak situation that they find themselves in. 3 minutes left to go. Forest looked a bit home and hosed here. Obviously it could change just like that, but what we've seen from West Ham in the last few moments, it's looking like it might be Nuno Espirito Santo's final few minutes as West Ham manager.
Yeah, you think those who stay behind either live within walking distance or they stay behind to potentially boo. As Mayers works it down the line to Somerville. Good tracking by Gibbs White. Gets across. He's fouled by Somerville. Good play by Gibbs White. Such a clever player, isn't he? Again, Forest, as you'd imagine, lots of high fives. This is a season changer, perhaps, this result. We saw the body language of the players. They were on the knees with some of the players. Face down in the turf was Murillo after we thought West Ham had gone 2-0 up through Somerville. Once again, though, they've got a habit of squandering leads and they've got a habit of conceding from set pieces. And West Ham trouble town, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. As I mentioned, it's really bleak for them. You mentioned about this maybe being a kickstarter for Nottingham Forest and what they can do going forward. Just looking at West Ham's fixtures as well, they're not going to be any easier from now. After that QPR game, it's Tottenham away, Sunderland at home, who've been brilliant, Chelsea away, maybe Burnley away is a part where they can get some points, then Man United at home as well. As I was saying earlier, I think this 4-game run that they've just gone through was their chance to get some points and maybe get out of the relegation zone. They've only got 1 point out of those 4 games, and it's really telling us. Williams drives down the left there, Mavropanos comes across, makes the foul. It's going to be a yellow card. You imagine Forest more than happy to keep it in that part of the pitch for the rest of this game.
Yeah, you've mentioned the recent run of fixtures. I think they had to get 7 points out of those ones, didn't they? Williams had a good evening this night. That's not good play. That was Mavropanos' yellow card. I think perhaps can feel a bit hard done by. But Forest have really deserved this win. They managed the game really well. You can smell where they've kicked on, or where West Ham have sat back, Forest have kicked on. They've got a throw right down by the corner flag, and the referee's got that clearly wrong. It was Bowen who kind of bundled it out of play, but too little, too late as West Ham. Walker Peters kind of tosses it forward. It's easy for Morato to deal with. Jago Jesus is there. Dominguez, who's been excellent, goes down, clutching his face. That's not great. Foul by Morato. West Ham have got the ball. Freddie Potts is going to play it to Myers, and that maybe allows his teammates to get forward. Myers has it now. He almost looks like a senior player the way he orders those around in front of him. They've got to get it forward to have West Ham. The 7 minutes have elapsed. 40 yards out, Mavropanos has it. He's going to knock it into the box. No, he's not, because Jesus gets the last touch. Anderson makes himself Morato in there, rather Nico Williams, and hammers it down the line. It's a good ball as well. Jago Jesus is told, pointing to the corner, Ian Wone and Sean Dyche. He doesn't make it there. It doesn't matter though. Forest, what a huge win this is for them. They're now 7 points clear of the relegation places. West Ham went up through Rio's own goal after 13 minutes, but Nico Dominguez equalised among Gibbs White. Once again, the scourge of the Hammers converting a penalty kick. It finished West Ham 1, Forest 2.